A very good evening to all our attendees and viewers who are watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. A very warm welcome to the Author Saga series. A quick recap for those of you who are new to Pick a Book. Pick a Book is all about reading and more reading and inculcating the habit of reading, research, and presenting the summary of it in our regular meeting sessions. Creating a better world by changing the sense of self through is the vision of a Pick a Book. Currently, Pick a Book marked its inspiring presence in 4 countries: Sri Lanka, India, Singapore, and UK, with over 1,000 plus readers, 18 plus regions, and 70,000 plus people inspired through our sessions so far, all in just a span of 1 year and more to go. Pick a Book continues to spread its wings across the globe. So, with we have come up with a new initiative, a brand of its own called Author Saga Series, wherein the authors can reach their readers and individuals with like-minded interests. Authors can also discuss the key insights of their books, and the readers can have this wonderful opportunity to know more about the book from the author herself. So today we have with us Miss Carmel Miranda with her wonderful book, Cross Match.
Hello. Hello, Swarna.
Hello. Okay, for you, ladies and gentlemen, Carmel is a medical doctor by she's based out of Colombo, and she took up writing as a hobby a few years ago. She grew up in Colombo, studying medicine at medical faculty of the University of Colombo, and she is specialized in anesthesia. Cross Match is her first book. So a very warm welcome, Miss Carmel Miranda.
Thank you,
Very
Swarna. You can call me Carmel.
Carmel, okay. Okay, so pleasure having you with us tonight. And before we start, I would like to, from the Pick a Book team and the audience who are watching us live on Facebook and YouTube, our congratulations to you on this wonderful book, and we
Thank
wish
you.
you a long way in writing.
Thank you.
And a special appreciation for you for winning this Gratian Prize. Congratulations for that too.
Thank you. Thanks again. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Kamal, are you an avid reader? Do you think reading books played somewhere, an important role in making you what you are today? What's your take on that?
I mean, the short answer is yes, it does. It did play a role. I mean, I've always been a reader from the time I was quite young.
Okay.
I think maybe the years that I was in medical college and soon after,
Okay.
I may have been less avid due to various, pressures of work,
Hmm.
or maybe the type of book I read started a change during then. Uh,
Okay.
because when you're very busy, you read the fast-paced thrillers and things. But then in the last 10 to 15 years, when things have settled down, I started reading again with a vengeance.
Okay.
And I think that's what directly led to me writing this book, the
Superb.
recent reading habit. Yes.
Great. Okay, so how did this spark started in you? Like, when did you thought of becoming an author and start writing a book? So what is that? When is that happen?
Well, Swarna, whenever I used to read a good book, I used to always think to myself, "My gosh, some books, just leave you so impressed."
Yeah.
And I think, wow, I wonder how they did that. How did they come up with that? What is it like to write a book? But
Okay.
these were just thoughts that just went through my mind, and I never sort of acted on them. But a
Okay.
few years ago, I actually started to think more about the
Hmm.
mechanics of writing, and whenever I read a good book, I used to think, gosh, I wonder what it's like to actually write a book. Is it as hard as it appears to be?
Yeah.
And then I thought maybe I'll just try it. Of course, I won't tell anyone, because if it's a fail, then no one will know. But I
Yeah.
started in secret. I started to write down, jot down a few things. And yeah, that's how it started. It was a secret for many years. Like, nobody knew about it.
But all ended well, and this book became a good hit, and you have won the prize for it. So
Yes.
and we are here today discussing the same book. So that's superb, awesome. Okay. So, okay, you took up writing recently, right? And this is your first novel, as you said. So, what
Yeah.
made you think of writing a novel? You know.
Well, when I decided to write, I thought I'll write the kind of book that I like to read. So I read
Okay.
a lot of fiction more than non-fiction, and
Okay.
I like something with a bit of mystery in it.
Oh,
And this particular book is it's sort of what is classed as medical fiction, although I never, I didn't classify it, but I think there is a category of literature called medical fiction, which I am quite a fan of anyway. And since I had the background, I thought, it would be easy for me to have the background knowledge to fill in the setting of the novel.
yes.
Yeah.
Super. Great. Yeah, actually, mysteries are the one which binds the audience to the book very closely, because
Yes,
once we
yes.
start it, we don't like to leave it, and until we
I
know
mean,
the.
that's what I wanted to see whether
Uh,
I could write a book like that.
Great. Good. So, actually, isn't it unusual for a doctor to write a novel? I mean, as far as I know, doctors are very busy. One of the busiest profession, and and thinking of writing a novel is also a great thing. That too, a mysterious novel. Why did you
Yeah.
choose this particular genre? I mean, I know that you are interested in this, but in spite of being a doctor and your busy schedules, so how did it all happen, and why did you choose this?
Well, it's interesting, Swarna, that you should say that isn't it unusual for a doctor to write a novel? But if you look at the history of literature,
Okay.
I mean, there is a long tradition of doctors who have turned authors. And
Okay.
if you take Sherlock Holmes, the world's most famous detective,
Hmm.
he was created by. I mean, I don't know whether a lot of people know that Arthur Conan Doyle was a physician. You know,
Okay.
and he was the most famous detective, I think, in the world.
Yes. Yes.
And then also other doctors famous. I mean, you must have heard of Coma, which was a classic medical
Hmm.
thriller from back in the 80s. I think that was probably the one of the first medical
Okay.
thrillers. That was written by Robin Cook. Again, he is a doctor.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and Michael Crichton, who wrote Jurassic Park, he was a doctor. And there are
Okay.
lots more. There's AJ Croning. Even Chekhov was a physician. So it's not
Okay.
as unusual as you think.
Hmm.
And regarding the genre, I mean, as I said, I do like a mystery. I like a good mystery, and I think, especially since this is my first book, I thought, if I want to keep the audience, I have to have something that will hook them,
Yeah.
give them a puzzle. There should be a puzzle. There should be something that will keep them reading till they get to the end of the story.
True. Great, that's interesting to know that, because I haven't noticed it so far, that all these people who are actually Sherlock Holmes or whatever, Robin Cook, whatever, we have been hearing those names, but I never saw from that perspective that they are doctors. True, that's interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's not that unusual.
it's not unusual anymore. Next time I make sure I don't say it unusual for doctors
No,
to
no, no.
write.
It's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for people to say so that people would realize. Because, as you said, a lot of
Realize.
people don't realize that.
Yeah, true. That is true. Very true. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, and would you like to tell us a little about the novel and the poor boy's mysterious story?
Yes. Okay. So, just a summary. It's a
Mm.
fiction novel. Okay.
Okay.
It's the story is entirely made up.
Yeah.
But the protagonist of the novel is a medical student who's studying in Colombo, as I did study many years ago.
Okay.
So I have used my experience, as a medical student in Colombo a little bit as a background for this protagonist. But of course, it's a completely different person, not me, and it's fictional and it's modern
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
unlike me, who was many years ago.
Mm.
So this medical student who is a bit of an introvert, doesn't have many friends. During her day-to-day work, she comes across a puzzling incident involving this death, a young boy in the ICU who everyone said had met with an accident.
Okay.
And so there are certain things about this case that strike her as unusual.
Mm.
and the boy is known to somebody of hers, so she manages to look into his background, discovers that he's a very poor boy from a slum,
Mm.
and she sort of follows this trail. Something about this sort of arouses her curiosity, and she's convinced that something is not quite right.
Okay.
So that's the mystery part of it.
Mm.
And in the background you get a lot of medical experiences, because as she goes along day to day, she goes about her daily work in the hospital, so we get a little bit of um, a flavor of what it's like to be a medical student, in an operation, in a delivery, things like that. So that's
Okay.
just for the background flavor. Some of it is quite detailed, and because obviously that's something that I know very well.
Yeah.
And also there's a personal twist, because this girl has something in her background which is also a little bit of a puzzle. So there's
Mm.
two threads to the story,
Oh.
two mysteries which sort of converge towards the end. Yes.
Okay. Superb. That sounds very interesting. Very curious now I am,
I hope I
Yeah,
hope you get to read it.
I will. I will. And somehow I have got. I also like mystery stories, and added to that, my favorite profession is doctor. Somehow, I didn't end up
Oh,
becoming a
really?
doctor, but I always have that interest towards the doctor profession and the anatomy and such stuff. So I'm sure I'll
Okay.
be definitely delighted reading this book. So I had the gist of it, but then the entire book is yet to read. Okay,
Yes.
good. That's a great start to know that. And yeah, are there any challenges you faced while writing this book, or through the research you have done for this book, or the characters you want to portray? So, any
Well,
challenges you faced?
Swarna, when I was writing this, I didn't have a sort of a deadline, or, there was no pressure, because I was writing this on my own just for my pleasure, sort of.
Okay.
I mean, I had the idea that if it works out well, I would make a book out of it. But there was no outside pressure, because I was purely doing it, on my own time, without anybody sort of asking me, is it finished? Is it finished? But it was, I mean, now I realize challenges that writers face, because there is the issue of time, having time to write. There is the issue of getting authentic facts, in your book. You have to maybe sometimes do a bit of research. And there is the biggest challenge is weaving the story together so that it, makes sense when you read it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And those, yeah, there were lots of challenges with related to the story itself.
Mhm.
And then once I finished it, the challenge was really how to get it out there, how to get it published. Because being a first time author here
Mhm.
in Sri Lanka, where the reading for English books is not that big, it was a
Yeah.
little difficult to find a publisher. But
Mhm.
anyway, I persisted, and I found a publisher who liked it and agreed to publish it. So yeah, there were challenges, but they were, what shall I say, interesting challenges, because this was a new field to me, and
Mhm.
every challenge was a learning experience for me, because I've never done this before, and it was totally different from my day job.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an interesting experience.
Great. So, without challenges, obviously, the result is not that sweet.
Yeah.
Superb. Okay, so do you plan to continue writing in future?
Well, Swarna, this was supposed to be a one-off, because, as I said, it was an experiment, just to see, can I do this? Can I pull it off? So I
Okay.
never had any vision beyond this book. I focused all my attention on this, and I put everything into this.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
now I'm feeling, now when people ask me, so what's next? I feel I don't have anything else to write, but I don't know whether that's what writers feel normally,
Yeah.
after they finish a book. So I don't know. I'll wait and see. I mean,
Yeah.
if something occurs to me, if something inspires me, if I get an idea, now
Okay.
that I know the process, I'll be happy to give it a try.
Okay.
But at the
Okay.
moment, no, I don't have anything
Okay.
in the pipeline. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Okay. So my last question here goes, and what does this Gratian prize mean to you? I know every prize, appreciating your work is an awesome feel. But I would like to listen to you from your end. So how does it feel for you? And if you have to give an advice for the aspiring writers, so what would that be?
Well, to start, first to answer your first question about the Gratian Prize, it was,
Mhm.
I mean, two aspects. Personally, for me, it was a huge boost because being a first novel and being quite unsure of how people would receive it, it was a
Yeah.
huge boost to my confidence, and it really, um, made me feel good about the book that the judges thought that it was good enough for the prize. And the
Okay.
other aspect of it was for the book itself, the publicity was, I could not have got that publicity on my own.
Okay.
So now it means that the book is going to be read by more people. And I'm really happy about that because I couldn't have reached so many people if I hadn't won the prize.
Yeah, that is true.
And advice for aspiring writers,
Hmm.
um, I mean, keep writing. And I think what the mistake probably what I did was I kept it secret. I think you should show people what you're writing. It's
Okay.
good to get good to get feedback and criticism.
Mm.
What I did was I wrote for 2 or 3 years before I showed it to anyone.
Oh, okay.
Um, which was because I was doing it without telling anyone. But I think it's useful to get
Mm.
show people because what you think is good sometimes you have to look at it through somebody else's eyes to realize mistakes and faults. So that would be my advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So it's definitely like, whatever we think, whatever we dream of, we have only one life to fulfill it. So whatever that
Yes,
is, yes, we have to go
go for
ahead
it,
and go for it.
do it.
So
Yeah,
exactly. On that wonderful message, thank you so much, Miss Kamal. For such valuable inputs and taking your time out to share your experiences and the and the book and the essence of the book with our lovely audience here. So everybody, ladies and gentlemen, this is a beautiful mystery. In fact, it's a double bonus, two mysteries in one book. So just buy this book on Amazon. It's available. So just grab it soon and have the fun reading it. And
thank
we
you,
love it.
Swarna.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kamal.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Thanks to
Miss
pick a book
Kamal.
as
Yeah,
well.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from us today and from the author. And I'm sure you all have enjoyed the session as much as we enjoyed doing it. So, thank you all in the room and who are watching us live. See you all again next week. Take care. Bye bye.